Oh, shoot. John is going to be praying for Tommy now? Now, this should be interesting.
Besides, I already made you a promise.
Well, just be grateful he didn't pull out a red machete. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for Coldwater. This one's going to be doing my second to last review for Season 1 of Coldwater, the Andrew Lincoln series on Paramount Plus and Showtime. This has been a really, really good series. It's been a really, really good little story here. And to be honest, the way things kind of ended up here at the end of this episode, it kind of feels like we're going to get somewhat of a resolution to what we, have been watching. So I don't know if there'll be a season 2. It kind of feels like we're going into a conclusive, final episode here where we're going to be wrapping everything up, but at the same time, we will have to see. Next week, though, I will be here to talk about the end of Season 1. Now, in terms of this penultimate episode, I thought this was really exciting. We had, obviously, John and his, wife. Obviously, she now knows the truth about what he did. And in this episode, we kind of get to see them a little bit kind of, at first, she's kind of distant from him. She doesn't really know how to react to him. And he swears that, he doesn't even think he really killed Nathan. He just thinks that he, obviously, he roughed him up pretty bad. We know that. But he still thinks that there may be a way that he can get out of this. And when she hears that, she kind of starts to realize that there may be a way to, get her husband out of this. So she actually, and I was kind of impressed with her. I'm not going to lie. She does end up, trying to help him. They do end up, working together, trying to figure out a way to get this all to happen. They try to find a way to get Tommy to fess up. And, well, one of my favorite scenes probably of the season, honestly, came in this episode. When they were at the church, and you had Tommy there, and basically you had, John, and he decided to pray for him. Now, obviously, in the first episode, we got to see that in a different perspective, obviously, and we got to see Tommy kind of manipulate him and make him see see his ways and stuff, and maybe start to kind of believe a little bit, And in this one, you've got John that basically gets Tommy to, go on his knees, do the prayer with him, this and that. But then when he comes up to the moment where he's like, yeah, please forgive him for his sins and all the bad things he's done, he gets up and frickin' John gets a hold of him, and I was like, oh my god. And they make kind of a scene, and that's when things get pretty insane. Now, the pastor does even tell John in this one, he's just like, listen, a lot of people know about why you left your original home. A lot of people know why you're gone, and a lot of people are suspecting you, you know what I mean? And he's like, do you think I killed Nathan? He's like, no, I don't necessarily, but, some people around here, they do, So, it's kind of a complicated situation there, and I thought it made for a very interesting interaction, because then now you have John that's kind of like, okay, do I need to run from here, what the hell's gonna happen, And again, the tension with Tommy is just rising here. So, we've also got, of course, a few other, minor storylines. Now, the one thing about this episode that I did find a little bit over the top was the son. I thought he was kind of over the top, spitting in front of them and this and that. I don't know why. I find his character is, over the top, to a degree to where I was like, okay, he feels like he's kind of irrelevant in some areas, I get what they're doing with him, but it also kind of feels like in some areas, he's kind of just there to be there, you know what I mean? Again, could just be me, but I did feel like his inclusion into the story it's been good at times, but then there's other moments in this episode where I kind of felt like it was a little, overdone. That's what I would say about him, at least. Now, in terms of the moment where they try to get in the car and stuff like that, and then obviously the people start frickin' banging on their windows and this and that, trying to get to John and his family. They got kids on the inside. I mean, listen, I don't care who you are. If there's a frickin' bunch of kids in the back of the vehicle, you gotta be a cruel fricker to start banging on the windows, scaring the kids, scaring all those, kids back there, and not expecting some kind of frickin', comeback or something, So, yeah, no, those people, I mean, seriously, what the hell? And Tommy gets rid of them. Tommy's like, hey, get the hell out of here, and he's like, sorry about what happened, John, and this and that. So he's definitely a manipulator for sure, because, you know, he saves them, you know. And I mean, Tommy's a freaking piece of crap. So towards the end of the episode, obviously, we get the one woman that stops by. She basically says, she's like, listen, there's this one ring that Tommy has, and this might be the one way that you could prove your innocence and prove that Tommy killed Nathan after all. So that's kind of where they cliffhanger the episode right then and there. And now it's going to be kind of a mission for the next episode to, for the final episode, to actually try to prove John's innocence, and to try to prove to, you know, the authorities that, you know, obviously Tommy is the one that killed them. But obviously, here's the thing. I don't know how they're supposed to prove that aside from this, so it looks like they have one ticket in, and we'll have to see if it works for them or not, but that'll be the next episode. Which I'm sure is going to be a pretty insane finale as they try to, you know, do this whole thing, pull this whole thing off, you know, and we'll have to see what happens with Tommy. Now, there were a few other things that also went down this episode. We had the one woman, her name escapes me, but Coldwater, I think, something like that. She basically, in this episode, kind of is, you know, wondering, like, okay, like, Tommy said all these, you know, horrible things. I have proof of some of this. Like, is there something I could use? I definitely think she'll be of use next episode as well, too. And then, obviously, on top of that, we've had, you know, a lot of other sequences where, you know, him, John, and his wife kind of, you know, make amends and stuff like that. They get together in this one as well, so the quick scene of that. Yeah, no, overall, I mean, it was a really insane episode. It was an insane, you know, way to kind of build up to the finale. A lot of tensions are high between John and Tommy, and proving, you know, John's innocence. And, you know, it really feels like the next episode is going to be the series finale. To me, it doesn't feel like there's going to be a second season. I could be wrong about that. I definitely could be wrong, but it feels like everything is getting to a climax now. And it feels like there wouldn't realistically be another season. Now, granted, if they cliffhanger this and there is a season 2, I mean, I won't complain, because I think this has been a really interesting story. So as long as you got the story for second season, I don't mind. But this season has been awesome. This show has been really good. And the tension keeps rising. I'm very interested in how it's all going to finish off here. So we'll be back next week for the finale review for Coldwater Season 1. Very exciting stuff here. Very exciting episode. I'm going to give this episode a 9.5. I thought it was very good. I thought it was very exciting, and I thought it was a good build up to the finale. Just a few draggy scenes here and there, but overall, I thought minor little nitpicks, honestly. Aside from that, I thought it was a fantastic episode. So let me know your thoughts. Post your comments down below, y'all. Let me know what y'all thought. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, be sure to click subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos very soon. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. Rogue gone mad, TV junkies hit a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.